Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex Funk, and today I'm going to be diving into my favorite sales hack from the book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. I encourage you to check out the book. Today I'm going to be diving into chapter 4, Beware Yes, Master No. Chapter 4 of the book talks about is it takes a different approach to any traditional sales approach that you've probably used or you've probably had been used on you. And what I love about this approach is you can use this in basically any situation of life. And it's leveraging the word no so that the customer is comfortable. And so you can actually get to a place where you can find a solution with them. Here's what it looks like, and here's what's different than what you've probably heard or used before. In most sales situations, what do we try to do? We try to get the customer to say yes, right? Yes-based questions, get them to agree with us. But if you put yourself on the other side of that situation, we've all been in situations before where we were the customer and we could feel the agenda, right? Imagine if I'm sitting at home and somebody comes up, knocks on the door, and says, "Hey, Alex, I'm here with ADT Security. Have you ever heard of us before?" I say, "Yeah." And they say, "Okay, great. Have you ever felt unsafe in your neighborhood?" I'd say, "Yeah." And then they say, "Would you like to feel safe in your neighborhood?" I'd say, "Yeah." And by now, right, you've all been there before. It's getting uncomfortable because you can feel the agenda and you can feel the sales approach that's about to be given to you. Now, this is where Chris Voss gives us the no trick and this new approach that introduces no being at the center of the conversation. An example that he uses in the book is imagine if you had a coworker who was working on a project and you said, "Hey, are you still working on that project?" Their response would be, "Yes, but blah, 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 blah." Now, the way to actually gain leverage in the conversation would be by saying something like, "Hey, have you given up on that project?" Now you get a firm no and a recommitment to whatever it is that they said they were going to do. The reason that this works in almost any argument or any negotiation or any sales situation is because of the fundamental human need of autonomy and the psychology of human behavior around human beings wanting full control of the situation. You've all probably been there. You walk into Finish Line or the Buckle or American Eagle. You walk into the store and the salesperson says, "Hey, can I help you find anything?" What's the first thing that we say? We say, "Nope, I'm good." Why we do that as human beings is because we have a desire for full autonomy. We want to feel like we are in control of the situation. And so the faster that you can get a customer to say, "No, I'm actually good," now their guard is down and they feel like they have control of the situation, which is exactly where you want them to be. So again, what this really comes down to is a human need for safety and autonomy. And so you can use that as leverage by asking no-based questions basically the entire time. "Hey, are you happy with your current cutlery situation?" "No?" "Okay." Now you're exposing pain points without the customer giving you what Chris Voss in the book calls counterfeit yeses or confirmation yeses, because the third type of yes and the yes that you want to get in any sales situation is a commitment yes. So again, he dives into this in the book, but there are 3 types of yeses in any argument, in any conversation. The first yes is a counterfeit yes. And this is a customer just saying yes because they're afraid to say no. And that is to avoid confrontation because they want the conversation to end faster. And so you'll get people who just say yes and go along. And then at the end they say, "Hey, I just need to think about it." And you're like, "What are you talking about? What do you need to think about?" It's because their yeses were fake the entire time. Now, the second type of yes is a confirmation yes. This is somebody who does agree that there's a problem. They see that there's a problem, but a confirmation yes isn't a commitment yes. And that's still, that person will get to the end of the conversation and they'll say, "Hey, give me a day," or "Let me talk to my wife," or "Let me talk to this person," or "Let me go dig through the drawer and see what we have." That's because they weren't necessarily giving you a counterfeit yes to end the conversation. They were just giving you a confirmation yes, which doesn't have any commitment tied to it. The third type of yes is a commitment yes. And the only way to get to a point where the customer is saying, "Yes, I'm ready to take action on this problem," is by them having full control of the situation, or at least feeling like they have full control of the situation. And the easiest way to get to that point is, again, by asking no-based questions from the beginning. And so by the time you get a yes, it is a commitment yes, and it's not counterfeit, it's not fake, it's not them just agreeing to move the conversation forward. It's actually them saying, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm ready to move forward on this. Now, here's a couple examples of that in real life. Okay. If I wanted to get my girlfriend to go with me to get some ice cream, I could say, hey, do you want to go get some ice cream? Now, the answer I might get is, I'm not really sure. Now, if I said, hey, would you be against going to get an ice cream after this? The answer would be, well, no, I'm not opposed to it. Boom, we're getting ice cream. Okay. Using this in a sales call, for example. So what do you think? Do you want to go ahead and get that today? It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of power for somebody to say, yeah, we do. And this all goes back to the human psychology of people just want to be safe. And so when they say no, it's them not being responsible. It's them staying safe. It's them staying out of harm's way, right? So if the question was, would you be opposed to just trying it out? No, I'm not opposed to that. Now, all of a sudden, they kept their autonomy, and you can get a yes out of the word no. So again, a couple other uses would be, hey, do you agree that we should do the same amount of work around here? And hey, would you disagree that I'm doing pretty much all the work? Yes? No. Same question, asked completely different, you'll get a completely different answer. Nobody's on defense. Are you in favor of this investment? Are you wanting to throw this out and look at a different investment? So you have to look at it like, are you in favor of this investment? Now, if they say no, they're out. If they say yes, they're in, but it might be a commitment yes. It might be a counterfeit yes. It might be a, confirmation yes. With the other question over here, right? Do you want to look at other options? If they say no, they're in. If they say yes, now you're looking at other options. So the power of a no-based question is it gives you leverage, it gives you movement, where when you're asking yes-based questions, if they say yes, you don't even know what kind of yes it is. And if they say no, well, now you lost them. With a no-based question, you win both ways. Last one, let's say that you're selling a car. Do you want to go ahead and get the car today? Versus, do you have any doubts that this car is the one for you? Yes-based question, no-based question. I'm sure you can see the power of it. So again, why this works, it creates a safe environment. It transfers the control back to the customer in a lot of situations. And you can leverage this in almost any argument, in any negotiation, and in any sales situation. And I have to give a shout out again, Never Split the Difference, one of my favorite sales books I've ever read, Chris Voss, chapter 4. Check out the book, check out the channel, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching Alex Funk YouTube.